This week's edition of From the House of the Holy is brought to you by one of Stirling Football Club's major sponsors, Avenue 1 Property Group and Ken Wade. Plus, this weekend's major social function, the Past Players and Supporters Day. This weekend, Saturday, the 21st of August. Enjoy the show. Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Stirling Saints Football Club podcast from the House of the Holy, your insider look into the players and people who make our humble sporting club. As always, I'm your host, Damon Eaton. With me is my reliable co-host. I usually have something witty to say this evening, but he's given me the night off. Thank you very much. Daniel Tilby, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good, Damon. It's nice to have a break from having to think on the spot for a while.
What? I usually have a bit of time to sort of think things through, or have something that's topical to do at Tills, but tonight I'm being lazy. Yeah, a bit more distracted about who we're talking to tonight. Let's put it down to that.
Yeah, no, I'll go with that, mate. It's a special guest, that's for sure.
Yeah, unless you can provide with me some material about how I should introduce you, Tills.
No, nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. Complete blank, mate.
Well, maybe our special guest, Tills. Last week we talked to Troy Miletus, or I should say 2 weeks ago. We had a buy we had a buy on the podcast last week, and Praddy the week before, which rounded up our three past players sort of thing. We've got a superstar on the line, Tills.
We certainly do.
Current player. I'll talk to you a little bit about him. Let's see. He's well, people know him as Fraggers or Junior. He's played 267 games for our club. Has the asterisk next to it, Tills, which means he's still playing, mate. Still playing well.
Yes.
Most of those 267 games, I'd argue, probably beyond his Colts games, they're all been leagues, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And interesting, if that's the case, I would suggest that he would only be second in the overall career most games for the entire club past, second only to Charlie Birdleone for most games played for our league in our club's history. 2016 life member, so that's nothing to sneeze at there. It's a very good evening, and also an avid poker player and likes a bit of a punt. Michael Franceschini, how you going, Fraggers?
Yeah, good evening, guys. How you all going? Yeah, good, Mike. Yeah. Pleasure to have you on board. Little intro there, that was great.
Fraggers, you got anything to say? Anything you might suggest to me about Tills? What I could use for his intro, perhaps?
Anything interesting about Tills? No, he does all that himself at the club. Very straight laced. You've all seen it. Yeah. I don't want to get on bad side either. He'll let you know.
Yeah.
Are you referring to Timmy Pendle? Good footing, otherwise he'll take the shit out of you. He's talking about Timmy Pendle. Yeah. That was just for comedy value. It wasn't anything serious, Timmy, you know that. Put that on the podcast. Yeah. Love you, Pendles.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He has mentioned that he has listened to at least half a podcast, so there's a chance he might have tuned in this time. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, Fraggers, thanks very much for being part of the podcast for I think it's our 12th episode, mate. So thanks for being a part of it.
No, happy to have a chat.
No worries. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to talk about let's talk about footy first of all. Let's talk about footy, the here and now of our club. Let's see. Last round, okay, Melville away, league lost by 82. We kicked 6-9. I think is that right, or am I got it wrong here? Hang on. No.
We're talking. We played Willerton on the weekend.
Yeah. Round 13. Sorry, that was Willerton, wasn't it? Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah. We lost by 124. We kicked 3-3. Lost by, we were dominated pretty much by the first bounce. A fair assessment, do you think?
Yeah, that's a bit fair assessment for the last 2 months, probably.
Yeah. knowing we're up against it. And then, consider our first time we met them, we lost by 50 on our home ground. So you could say we've got a 74-point home ground advantage. If you do the difference.
We might need it this week as well. Yeah, that's right.
And the reserves, their second forfeit for the season. Tills, what was that? Was we called in on the Thursday night? What is the actual fine for a forfeit? Because I know we paid something like $500 the first time when we forfeited on the day. What was the
cost? Just depends on how much notice that we give the amateurs and the other club.
Yeah.
So I think it was $200 for the week just gone by.
Okay.
We've got a big week at the club this week, so hopefully we get a lot of heads back and make it a real good showing anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. And of course, Tills, you mentioned the round 14, which is our second last home game. It's against Quinns District. It's of course going to be a big day. We've got Past Players Day. It's going to be a big turnout, and just a little bit here. We've got a bit of payback for these guys. We've got to pay back a few sides, I think, this season. We might not have the opportunity for most of them, but certainly against Quinns District at home. Last time the league played against them, lost by 72. We did kick 9 goals 6, so sort of a respectable tally there. But when you lose by 72, it's a bit pales in comparison. And reserves,
sorry, I just lost you there for a sec, don't I?
Yeah. Many people.
What do we lose by then, mate?
Yeah, many people on this podcast lose me, Tills, listeners included, mate.
So what did we lose by last time? 72?
72, yeah. We lost by 72, but we did kick 9 goals 6.
Well, we got that 74-point home advantage, so I dare say we win by 2 points this week.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Good math skills, yeah. It's not bad, eh?
I think we're
only down by 2 goals at half time as well. The second halves we've got to work on.
Okay, well, there you go. So was it the third quarter fade, or was it just the last quarter blowout, Fraggers?
Yeah, it's more of a second half, but we seem to not come out with the same sort of effort as we do at the start of the game. So, yeah, definitely, this team's only won 1 or 2 games, and then they pumped us by 12 goals when we played them. So, yeah, hopefully with the crowd there on Saturday, the boys pull their fingers out and, we show the crowd there that, we put in a good effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think interestingly as well is they had their Past Players Day at the same time that we played up their dog pile. So, yeah, we own one, that's for sure, don't we? So, we get a decent side out there. I reckon we're definitely a chance.
And I think for the reserves too, we've got 2 goals. 1, don't forfeit. Field aside, it'd be embarrassing on a Past Players Day to do that. And and 2, we lost by 150 last time to these guys, but only kicked 1 goal, so we need to double that.
I can't remember who kicked that.
Yeah, I think it was only 1 goal, 1, I think, so, yeah. Anyway.
Yes, there was a fair bit of jubilation when that goal went through as well. It was a little bit random off the top of my head. I was running water that day, but
couldn't have been
just can't recall.
Troy Miletus, perhaps?
Oh, God, no, please. No, no, believe me, I would have heard about it.
Well, there was one shining light, as dark as the loss was last week, Fraggers. There was one shining thing we could take away with it. We saw we saw Kells play his 200th club game for us, so that was a fine achievement on his part. Just a memorable day for a totally wrong reason, mate.
Yeah, not like I said to the boys on Saturday, it's milestones don't come around that often, especially 200 games these days at local amateur footy clubs. So, we set ourselves to play hard for him. We just didn't do enough, obviously, on the day. But yeah, he's a great man. He's hung around the club. He's decided. He's in his head. A few times he's thought about quitting and all that, but he's always come back and he's played some really good footy this year. And he's a leader as well. He's probably the loudest guy you hear on the ground as well. So only other guys could follow.
It's got that distinct voice. Sorry, go on, Tills.
Sorry. He's a great man around the club as well. He's always got a smile. He's got that weird beard thing happening, but he's always chirpy and he talk to anyone. Just a heck of a guy, actually.
He's just about the beard, Kels's beard. Like he's got that the blondish, wispish sort of hair and that. And it's only just thought, have you guys ever watched the TV series Sons of Anarchy? Or Sons of Anarchy, as they pronounce it?
Back in the day for a couple of episodes, but that was about it.
Yeah, well, I watched the whole series. I actually didn't mind it, but the lead actor there is actually British. He played the son of the founding member of there. He's got a touch of Kells, I think, except if you could have a miniature version of him, then you'd have Kells, I reckon.
Yeah, it's not far wrong there, I reckon.
Yeah. Anyhow, Kells, congratulations to you, mate. Let's hope that this, and you're right, Fraggers is about him playing good footy. So he's trained probably more consistently than I've ever seen him for quite a while, and he would admit that he's been in and out a lot, but I did speak to him, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, and he said that he's just enjoyed his footy this year because he knew that if I might not be able to do this again, I've got a chance to play a full season, I'll have a crack at it, and he's actually says he's really enjoying it despite the fact that the losses have been so great.
Yeah, he seems to be playing better footy the older he gets. It seems like a lot of us are doing that as well. He just matured as a footballer himself. I even told him to his face. I thought he was a bit soft in his early days, but a lot of footy players are at the start. But he's puts his body on the line now, and I think it's improved his own game as well by because he was always able to get the ball and to be able to put his body on the line and get the ball that way contested. It's even better. Good to see.
Excellent. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move past the football in the current state, and congratulations again to Kells. Let's talk about you, mate, our special guest. Now, you've let's see, what was it? 267 games. Is that the most recent? I think that's pretty updated. Have you gone beyond that at this stage?
Yeah. In last year.
So what was that? That was 267 at the end of last year.
Yeah, that's right. So. Okay. Don't worry, I'm counting because I'm counting to 300 because that's my bloody goal. So I worked out that if we finish on top of the ladder in C2 next year and go straight through to the grand final, I'll be finishing on 299. So, so I might have to drop the first final if we make it next year. Yeah. If I can get an extra final and play the 300 from the GF, that'll be all right.
It's not too bad, right? Bloody hell. That's your other passionate goal as well, Mike, is to actually win a flag with the club.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. That's why the legs keep ticking over. That's why I keep looking up every year. And
yep,
that's all I want, pretty much. That's, you play footy for been pretty much almost 30 years of my life. You play footy, and the only reason why you play is to win premierships. You get a lot of mates out of it, but the end goal is always to have that premiership.
Yeah.
Do you always have that sense of unfinished business that you want to, close up? Is that sense, or is it just a case of let's just play for a premiership? Or do you feel is it something that you've set a goal and you think, nah, I'm not going to call it quits until this actually happens?
Yeah, pretty much. That's it. Until I'm watching, it's bad to say, I got the TV on mute here and the interview's on, right? And there's this guy in a wheelchair. And that's when I'm in a wheelchair and I'll be doing that if I haven't won a grand final. That's the only reason how I won't be playing footy. So, good on that bloke on the TV.
So, absolutely.
Wheelchair bound. Well, you did it.
Got a nice blue sweater on too, Michael.
Yeah, I might wear that to footy on Thursday.
Well, I'm in the shed. I don't have a TV. Is it at least knitted or turtlenecked?
No,
it's a round neck. There, Damo. You weren't very smart.
So not completely geriatric, just quite, just
what are you in the dungeon there, Damo?
So, yeah. Well, that's it, mate. I'm actually sitting right next to my homebrew I've got right here, which is nice, looking nice at this stage. Fraggers, I'm about to keg it after this interview, and then put it into the kegerator and put it on tap. So that'll be good. Won't be ready for another 2-3 weeks, but to serve up. But gonna pump some CO2 in it, and my little man shed's not too bad here. It does everything. It's the hub of the from the House of the Holy as far as the production area is concerned. Gardening, general fix it, getting away from the missus and kids, you name it.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff.
Yeah, you can only try, don't you? Hey, I'm just heading back to the guy on the TV being in the wheelchair. I just thought the other day.
May I just say, this is riveting. This is absolutely riveting material we've got going here, boys.
Yeah.
But keep going.
Yeah, just imagine everyone that's listening. How many pairs of shoes do you reckon people in wheelchairs buy throughout their life? Because they're never going to wear them out. They're always going to look new. The tread's going to be good.
Tackling the big issues here.
Yeah, it just sort of intrigued me the other day. These shoes, if you've got the white shoes, they're always going to be nice and white and shiny.
At what point do you think that's enough? They're no longer white, they're too worn, there's no coming back, we've got to get a new pair. Is that what you're asking, Tills?
Well, they never walk on them, so yeah, they're lucky in that regard.
Mm.
Just a thought.
Yeah, good banter. Yep, very good banter, Tills.
I was pretty bored that day, don't I?
So, Fraggers, look, you're saying your goal was 300 games, and it looks as if, by all intents and purposes, looks as if you're going to make it. I think that'll put you, would that be the fourth only player in the club's history ever to make 300 plus games? I'll have to check that out. I'll get on the website in a moment. But I seem to have a flashback, sense of deja vu when you said that, because you were sort of saying that when you were getting towards your 200, weren't you? Or was that always the case? I'm going to make 200 and then just see where I go from there, and then just sort of, I could make 200.
Yeah, 200, I had a spell for half a year just because I went to a different employment. I went to sales. And
that's right, yeah.
So I played my 200s and then didn't play for the rest of the year, and it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So that was my goal then, to get to 200. And then I thought that was it, pretty much, new career. But, and I came back the next year and, you set new goals and, yeah.
And there's always the lure of the
over and you see, there are only about 5 or 6 from 300 and above. And my goal earlier back in the days was always to be the games record holder, but, for a few years off, and Wayne Stevens, I think, is on 386.
Yeah,
I worked out I'll be 45 if I wanted to do that. So, but, you never know.
Yeah, you never say never. Right. If the body can keep you going, there's a lot of enjoyment out of footy. And, I miss it each week, seeing the boys run out there and just not being able to do it.
Bear in mind too, Fraggers, you're talking about a lot of those guys who you were in esteemed company with. You overtook Frank Rossi from his career games as the most recent, I guess, league player with his most games played. So I think at the end of last season, and you look around at the company that you're in right now, most of those guys have played. They made careers playing thirds and maybe some reserves games. A lot of those guys, the Stevenson's boys included, Steve-O boys included. So, and like I said, I think it's Charlie was the only one who's played more games in league than you have. And Charlie was phenomenal. He started in, I think it was at 80, something like 85, and was there in the 2000, the 98 flags. So I think so. Well, probably even earlier than 85 actually. He won a fairest and best, I think, at about 84. So, so when you think about it, weigh it up there. And the other thing you can consider too, Fraggers, is that ever heard of? Do you remember Ziggy?
Yeah, I remember Ziggy well.
Yeah, Ziggy. He was Tills. How old was he when he won the flag with you boys?
Oh, early 70s, I reckon.
Yeah, he did. He was
pretty old. He would have been at least mid-50s. I think probably about 56.
All right, yeah. Because I tell you what, Fraggers, because there's a strong correlation. I see a strong correlation between you and him. Because you spoke about never winning a flag and kept playing until you got it, and you got to about mid-50s. So according to records, and that's where you can look at. There's your future laid out for you, Fraggers.
19 years, beautiful. Game 700.
Yeah, that's it. That wheelchair is well within reach. Yeah. So, Fraggers,
the way we're going, I'll still be playing league probably.
Captain.
Hey, so let's go back. We were talking about the here and now and your future and so forth. Let's go back where it all began. Talk to us, Fraggers. How did you start out at the club? Well, where did you start out in footy, mate? Go through it.
Go through it. Where do you want me to begin?
Well, Well,
pretty
right
much
from the very
Aussie
beginning,
Park,
mate.
born and bred.
Sorry?
To start off with.
Yep.
So juniors, I would just quick run through juniors was just apparently I wanted to play soccer. That's what I got told. I don't even remember that, but apparently I wanted to play soccer all growing up until I rocked up at an oval and a couple of my mates from school were training and they said come down. So that's pretty much how my footy started. And then played with Aussie Park juniors and finished out at 15s when the club folded because, well, not the club, but there was no 16 or 17s. You know, always the case. The demographic around the area, there was not enough players, so I had to go and play at Kingsley for my last 2 years of 16, 17s, and they were a great club, and I was going to stay there, to be honest, and play with their amateurs, just because the club was huge and they, treated me really well, and my family, and my parents and that, but my brother was at Stirling, and he won the 98 premiership, and he was 30 then, he's 12 years older than me, and he said, come down and play at Stirling, and I was umming and ahhing, and anyway, I decided, I'll go down to Stirling and start there, and that's when I just did the Colts, and, in hindsight, when you think about it as well, it's because those Kingsley boys went on that trip to Bali, and I actually played with a few of the guys that actually died in those bombings in juniors,
wow.
So...
Really?
Sad, sadness with what happened in Bali. It's sort of, who knows if I didn't decide to come down to Stirling, what would have happened? I probably would have been on that trip, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
Holy shit.
just look back at that, and that's just how I got down to the club, and this team was an A-grade side as well. Stirling, very strong. They won the '98 premiership and in B grade, and then '99, I think they survived, and
2000,
Made
2000,
finals, I think, under Trevor Green. Yeah. So I was saying,
that was it. That was my first year in 2000. So trying to look back, 18 years is kind of hard. But I definitely do remember like my first league game and how I got caught up. And Darren O'Brien was coaching then league. He played over 100 games for Melbourne. He was a classic player, and I was only 18 years old and played 7 games of Colts, and I just remember those stats: 7 games of Colts, and I think I got press on ground in 6 of them, and
wow.
I just remember rocking up at training on a Thursday night. Darren O'Brien, as soon as I got out of my car, pretty much, this is how excited the coaches and the players are back in the day. That's how it all was back then.
Yeah.
And, the coach would just grab me out of my car and he would just put his arm around me and goes, mate, you're playing league this week. And it's like, that's how big it was back then. And I couldn't believe it. I was shitting myself. Absolutely shitting myself. You're playing A-grade footy at 18, it feels like you're playing your first AFL game. But that's how I felt anyway. And, pretty much been playing league ever since. So, I remember that from the beginning. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, have you played?
Would have been pretty daunting, Mike. A-grade footy's pretty good competition, and being a kid, played half a dozen games, getting the call up. Yeah, I can imagine you'd be bloody. Your dad's just wondering, oh shit. You worry, am I going to fit in? Am I going to do the right thing? It's what an honour, though. It's a brilliant effort.
Yeah, it's just the players you're playing with as well. These guys are men.
Yeah.
Okay, I meant to go out there and try and get the footy and not let your team. And you really didn't want to let your teammates down back then as well. So they bring into you. They'll tell you what they expected, and if you didn't do it, they'll let you know about it. So that's just sort of how maybe I come across these days as well with some of the younger dudes and the guys. Okay. Just lazy pricks. I do abuse them a little bit, but they deserve it.
That's right.
But that was the case back in those days, Fraggers. When you get the call up, great, it was a celebration there, but your spot was never guaranteed. It was perform, or the opportunity will go to someone else who's just as keen and looking for it. Were there any guys, like older players, I mean, like you said, there's the nerve-wracking aspect of it, and it is, a big moment, obviously, to be on that stage and play. I mean, were there any players that you can remember, or even coaching staff, or even just members, old-timers, that actually spoke to you or sort of guided you through that? I mean, did you find your own way, or there's any particular person that you remember that sort of, gave you some good advice or passed on something or just did something that made you think, yep, I belong here?
Well, yeah, good question. I mostly, advice-wise, you just took everything in that they said, and these guys led by example as well. They didn't have to get in your face and point the finger at you and say everything like this. I don't remember really moments like that. It was just their actions on the field, how they went about it, and how not professional in a way, but they were just they crossed that line, and when you got on the field on Saturdays and Tuesdays and Thursday trainings, and that's what it was all about, and that's all that mattered for that amount of time, and but there was guys like, I go back to like David Puss and Puss, these guys are absolute animals, and they were 4 years younger than me back. Say they were 32 and I was 18 or something like that.
Yeah.
These guys, I look at them and go, fuck, these guys are animals, mate. They're having smokes at half time, and whatever. And they'll kill themselves in this pack and take nothing from everyone, but they'll back you up as well, and they'll defend you. And they led, and fuck, I can go on about them all day. It's just like, I look at myself now and go, do I do that? I'll say no. I wasn't an animal like these guys. These guys, scary. Yeah. You're glad you got them on your team, like Evo as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everybody sees Evo come down, he weighs 140 kilos, this big sloppy unit. Hopefully he doesn't hear that. But back in the day, you're glad you had him on your team. He was an animal, He got rubbed out for 12 weeks in 2 years, and that's not just for being gentle with someone, He you just didn't want to be with him if you're not playing on his team, because he would elbow you in the head. But he'd only elbow you in the head if you deserved it. So that was his point. But he was to get rubbed out for 6 weeks.
Yeah, a lot of the time I reckon he got done for retaliating against some tough treatment that one of our guys had. If he saw something dirty, he'd make sure that that bloke who dished it out was going to cop it as well.
Take on one, get on all.
One. Yeah, sorry, Dano.
No, that's right. I was just saying, you take on one, take on all. That was his mentality.
Yeah, well, everybody, I can tell stories about him for ages, but, there's a couple of things, these guys in the day, like, for example, Evo, one of the guys, I think it was Noel, and he's gone through and he's wiped out a wingman. I think it was Jabba who played on the wing. This is like 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gone up, Evo's gone up this guy, and Evo had a mouth guard that had like shark teeth on it, right? So it was black with white, pointy teeth on it. So he looked green anyway, like that. Yeah. And he goes up this guy, he goes, by the end of the game, you're going to be knocked out. That's what he went. He went up to that guy, he goes, by the end of the game, you're going to be knocked out, just letting you know. He goes, all right, mate. And then, no shit, like a quarter later, there's like a little, a scuffle in the pack or whatever, and you see Evo just run into his pack, and he just elbows this guy on the jaw and breaks it. Like,
oh, jeez.
Yep, and he goes, told you. You're it.
Can't say it.
No, he kept his word. He kept his word.
Well, it was highly gentlemanly. I would say that's intimidating, but gentlemanly at the very same time, because I'm putting you on notice. I will let you know you will be knocked out.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one more thing about Evo. This is why he got rubbed out of the amateur league. But I was right there in front of him, and he was getting tagged, and this guy was just pestering him all day. Yeah. And anyway, the umpire tried to break him up. They were just, collar grabbing and stuff like that. Yep. And they were standing face to face, these two, and the umpire's there, and I'm there just watching, and the umpire goes, just calm down, Evo, just calm down. And Evo goes to the other guy, he goes, if you touch me one more time, I'll break your nose. Yeah. And the guy just gets his finger and just pokes Evo in the chest, and you just see Evo lean back and just smash his nose with his forehead.
Oh, God.
And he's right in front of the umpire, just no care, just breaks his nose, blood pissing out everywhere. He goes, I fucking told you not to touch me. He goes, I told you first, and he touched me. And, anyway, he got 6 weeks for that as well.
Well, that bloke was probably thinking, he won't do it. He won't punch me in the nose. So you're right, he won't punch you in the nose.
Some good stories back in those days. Just crazy. Yeah. You crazy.
Yeah.
But he'll defend you off the field as well. It's always good to have that at Paramount at 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great wingman.
Yeah, definitely. Right.
What were the regular haunts on the nights out, Fraggers, of the Paramount? What was a typical night out? What was the tour? The start of the club?
Yeah, the boys took me, especially when I was like 18, 19, the league guys took me under their wing, and I guess, they would, you definitely start at the club, and then you'd be there like 10 o'clock, and then you just, you put on your best corduroy pants back then, and, they go, yeah, we're going to Paramount, or you start at the other team, back then, but you always end up at Paramount, I still got my VIP Kiri,
Yeah.
You pretty much, we would have like at least 20 of us every Saturday night at Paramount, just owning the bottom floor, just owning it.
Yeah.
What a mad era. They were really good times, Yeah, just getting a few of the old boys and take me out. It's something probably. I guess I've done that in the past with some of the younger guys, like with JJ and Grassy and Baker and stuff like that. Me and Frank, all the older boys, we sort of carries on tradition. Sort of try to take the younger guys back out there and get them all involved and get them shit faced and all that.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, I think Corky's doing that now. It's like he's getting a lot of young guys off their face. He's got his own house and takes them all out.
Yeah, he's done a hell of a job.
Between him and between him, Matty, and Dennis as well. I mean, those three are pretty much the ringleaders, I guess. So, I mean, we've got knowledge from previous podcasts that Lingy's been one of the biggest recipients of the nights out with the boys, to a point where they called an ambulance on him. So, yeah, good to see the tradition still going.
Yeah, definitely. Ruin them.
Ruin them.
Yeah, some people don't survive.
That's right.
All good to Baker, but you didn't stay on the right path. So hopefully he comes back on the right path. But most people make it.
That's right.
Let's take a break from this week's podcast to have a little chat between me and you. Let's talk about entrusting your home or investment property to a real estate agent. And look, it's easy to go out and find any sort of real estate agent or business that works on this, but have I got an inside goss for you? You've got to go check out Ken Wade at Avenue 1 Property Group. That's right, Avenue 1 Property Group. Put it in. It's, I'll tell you what, it is a business that is strategically located to ensure maximum exposure and market reach for your property. They offer a fantastic service, outstanding marketing, and superior negotiating skills that sets them apart from the rest of the field. It's their enthusiasm, their can-do attitude, energy, and total commitment to setting benchmark results. They've got an impressive list of prospective buyers. They are always available to handle any sales inquiry with the utmost professionalism. And spearheading that, along with the fantastic team at Avenue 1 Property Group, is a 1976 life member of our football club in Ken Wade. 1976, the year I was born. So, Ken is your man to speak to. If you want property group sales statistics, if you want to join one of the many, if you want to join the 87 properties that have already been sold and 113 properties that have been leased in the last 12 months alone. Last 12 months, 87 properties sold, leased 113, done. From Como to Yokine, from Bayswater to Mandurah, you name it, east, west, north, south, the reach of Avenue 1 Property Group is far and extensive, and it's broad. So therefore, you owe it to yourself to get the job done right. Take away the pain and stress of leasing or selling your property. Go to the professionals. Go to the people in the know. Speak to Ken Wade at Avenue 1 Property Group. You won't be disappointed. 2.5 days, people. That's how long it is now, 2.5 days. 2.5 days until the big one. The big one this Saturday. Yes, that's right. It's a home match. But more importantly, well, just as equally importantly, if not more importantly, is our Past Players and Supporters Day. Yes, that's right. It's a big one. We've got to have some absolute ball-tearing stories to be told, memories to be tripped over and I guess glossed over and exaggerated and corrected by bystanders who'll say, hey, mate, you got it all wrong. But yes, it is the 20-year anniversary of the 1998 merger and subsequent League and Reserves Premiership seasons. Fantastic. Look, I was there during then in 98. A lot of our listeners there, all three of you. You were more than likely around during then. So why not be a part of this? Spread the word. I've certainly done it. Everyone else has done it. I know there's been a buzz around the club about this. So, and outside the club, on Facebook, people you see in the street and say, hey, you're part of Stirling Football Club. I hear you've got a big event this weekend. Yes, in matter of fact, I do. In fact, we do. We do have a big event, and it's one of the biggest ones we're going to have all year. It's a Be Seen weekend. You must be there. It's a case where you are going to be able to see some great football, enjoy a fantastic service of the people at the bar, reminisce over the glory days, still tell yourselves you're still the young lions that you used to be, that if you're out there right now, you could probably do just as much as you did back in your day, if not better. All these things you get to enjoy, starting from any time when the reserves play, midday, 1 o'clock, right up until beyond. It's a great day. So this Saturday, it is the 21st of August. It's here, folks. It's here, people. Make sure you're here. Make sure you get down. Make sure you support your Stirling Saints and join everyone else who's going to be there because, my goodness, if you don't turn up, you'll be the only one who doesn't. So, past players and supporters, make sure you get there this Saturday.
Oh, good.
Now, Fraggers, I'll just change again. You've actually done a country stint as well as far as playing footy in your career as well, haven't you?
Yeah. I played a few years down east in there.
Sorry, where? But just over Tills' hack.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, struggling a bit. Just finished a witty gold. Yeah, I played a few years in Querding in the Avon League.
Yeah, that was good. So that was the trip. What's the drive from Perth? How many hours?
It's just over 2 hours. You know, it's like I think you get to York. So what does York take? Just over an hour to get to York, and it's about 60 k's east of there. So normally you take just over 2 hours, around 2 hours. Yeah.
Many Perth boys you carpool with?
Any Perth boys when I was there?
Yeah, was it just you who were driving, or was there a carpool between a couple of you?
No, the coach that I got the gig through, he lived in Mundaring, so the guy I used to play against, and a good mate of mine who played for Hammersley Kareem, we went there the same year, and there used to just be four of us boys used to road trip there, which is probably some of the best memories of playing there anyway, the road trips. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Your brother played at Querding as well, Mike?
Nah, he played Wild Catcham.
Oh, he did too, didn't he? Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joe Edwards played at Querding for a year.
Yeah,
that's right.
And he played at Dow Wallinu as well. In fact, it was him, Mick Evo, Shane Evo, and Jolie, and there's a few other Perth boys. They all played at Dally, and that was when I was playing there as well on my way back down from up north. So that was interesting seeing those boys being in town. And yeah, you're right. With as far as being off the field, yeah, certainly Joel's not outspoken. You had Joel, who was this softly spoken sort of dude. Then you got Mick Evo, who's just not exactly the shrinking violet of the same bar. So but very, very good to have him around there. I'd imagine it would be the same thing because I know that country bars, in the country footy, and you've seen it, Fraggers. It's the social hub. It's you turn up and it's every town member's there.
Oh no, huge nights. We'll make a point that every time Sunday games normally, but Saturday nights, I'd make sure that I stay up the night and embrace the country party. And you think you go to somebody's house, you go, yeah, we had a bonfire, and you go to these joints and their bonfire's getting like a big cat tractor out.
Yeah.
And they're getting 40-foot gum tree logs and building a bonfire of that. You have to stand 50 metres away.
It's not an exaggeration either, yeah. Yeah.
First time I had export as well, to be honest. I love them.
What was your assessment of it then? Yeah, it's good.
Got something
Gold.
Yeah. What about the past matches you played, Frag? So what are some of the best games? What are the most memorable games you've ever played in? Which one do you think has the sweetest victories you can remember? I mean, I know finals games stick in your brain. With the 2016 C grade highlights, those games there, like the qualifying finals, do you think those stick out most, or are there other games there?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the prelim with Kingsley to get before that grand final. Yeah, talking about most current, that's probably huge. Because we celebrated after that and stood on the ground having a drink while we won the GF. But just to get to be down by a few goals, 4 goals, and that just getting that win, that was huge. Great win. Probably my best memory that I'll never always remember probably is the 2001 elimination final against North. Yeah. And I played footy since I was 8, and that was my first ever final as well. So I never got to play finals in juniors, so we were always a final side.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when I rocked up in 2000 at Stirling, we did have a game that I'll never forget either, and it was the second last game against West Coast, and there was only one team up, one team down back in those days.
Yep.
I remember that game. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, and it was a relegation game, and we were playing West Coast at their ground at City Beach, and it was whoever won stayed in A grade, pretty much. And we were 6 goals down at half time, and that's my first year. I'm 18. I'm playing with these great guys with 6 goals down, and these guys, like Joe Commandy, I'll never forget, right? And he's just walked in the change rooms, and he must have been about 30, 32 then.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he just put his chair and just fucking threw it against the wall. And he just gave us this speech that, he still sort of like sends tingles down your eye. You just walked out like ready to kill.
Yep.
And we went out there and pumped them by about 4 goals in the end. It was a 10-goal turnaround.
Do you remember Obi was unbelievable that day. It's the best game I've ever seen him play.
Yeah. It was insane how we, these guys can just all of a sudden just lift you with a talk like that. So I remember that game, but that kept us in A grade and sort of built the next sort of 3 to 4 years. That win probably set the club up for A grade for the next 3 to 4 years. And then we go to 2001, and that's my favourite memory. Yeah, never played a final before. We had an elimination final against Belmar, and I think we were 3 goals down. It was on the record list that Paulie G put up on the website.
Yep.
3/4 time comebacks or half-time comebacks. And, we're down by about 5 goals at half-time or something like that. We came back within 3 goals of something or 4 goals at 3/4 time, and Evo just turned it on in that last quarter. Anyway, I kicked 2 goals in that last quarter, and I was lucky enough to kick the winning goal. That was about... I was running down, I remember just running down the boundary line, just sneakily by myself, right on the boundary, even out of bounds. Just all by myself, running around all the way to the goals in the square. I remember Evo took the ball out, probably ran about 25 metres without bouncing, but they didn't hold the ball.
No whistle.
And they wouldn't want to anyway. And then and then he gave it to the Jaddo, the winger, and I've just snuck into the square all by myself, and he's seen me there. He's run inside 50. And he's popped it right on my tip, and I've marked it right in front of goal, and this Norma guy's completely wiped me out onto the ground.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Gave him a yellow card, sent him off. Yeah. And I was just like, I'll shoot myself, we're down by 2 points or something like that. There's about a minute to go, and Trevor Green was the coach, and he's playing full forward. And I'm going, can I kick it? Can I kick it? Can I kick a goal? Because I'm right on the line. Yeah. And Trevor Green just grabs his by my fucking collar and goes, you fucking step back, you take your time, you boot the shit out of that fucking ball. So I step back and I just boot the shit out of it, and it goes about 50 metres, and they bounce the ball and the siren goes, and we win by 4 points. And beautiful.
Magnificent.
All the boys run off the hill and everything like that, and just going off in there. So that's my greatest memory, pretty much, of a win. Yeah.
Oh, got me fired up, Tills.
Yeah, I got a little goosebumps.
That's a good one. That's a good story. That's a beauty. Oh, that's a pearler, mate. So it's amazing when you have those games. Like we've interviewed a few people, and I've asked you asked a few guys about their favourite game and the most memorable. It's certain seasons when you're languishing and so forth. You don't remember any particular things, but when you have those highlights that stand out, it's remarkable how vivid the recollection of the memories of some of these guys, including yourself, Fraggers, you have, and it's just blow by blow. And it's great listening. It's a great story, mate. That's a bloody beauty. The 2001, was it?
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
That was in 2001.
2001, yeah. I want to forget that. But they're shadowed by probably losses than better memories, to be honest. With I remember those few games, but there's more of the losses that probably I remember better.
Yeah, right.
But that's the
Junior, you did kick that goal, and just quietly, you do have aspirations of one day moving into the forward line. Is that still a possibility, mate?
I tried to.
You did try,
but as soon as there's a few goals kicked, I end up getting put back there. So
yeah, no.
Yeah. Tell the defenders to bloody do their job, and I might be able to stay in the forward line.
Yeah, no. Maybe one day, mate. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
You are speaking like a true backman there, Fraggers, because it's I know the sensation. Look, you've got to become a player coach to give yourself a really solid go. I did that when I was doing thirds, and I'd like to say I had a half decent run for the one season I put myself up there in the half forward, full forward, swapping with Sammy Day. But you're right. When you see the ball going the other direction, the back line, you think that's right. The boys have got it sorted, and you see it doesn't. They kick a goal and reply or something. You think, geez, you know what? If I was there, I'd made the difference, I reckon. So it's probably that mentality as backman, you sort of have that after you spend back there, which is probably pretty much what you just mentioned just then.
Yeah, it's hard to give it away.
Well, let's move on your life membership, mate. Yeah, let's go on to what was it, 2 years ago, 2016? Yeah, your life membership. Mate, how'd that feel? I know I remember very much your speech quite vividly. You had played your 200 games. The eligibility was obviously there, and it was a case, I think, for most of us who knew, so there was a case of not so much if you're going to get it, but when. And when 2016 you got awarded it, I mean, was that something you sort of anticipated, something you hoped? How do you feel about that when you sort of know you're eligible, but you don't know? Do you feel as if awkward in feeling that you might get it and you don't want to anticipate it? What were your thoughts on that?
I think, in the back of my mind, you always think, you've been there for a while, you probably will become life membership, but, I always thought that, it's not just games played,
Yeah.
I thought I might have to be a bit more and hang around the club and be on a committee for a few years or helping out in the coaching roles and stuff like that. But, it was an honour to become a life member. Definitely, that's for sure. I probably showed that by some emotion on that part.
Yep.
But it's a huge memory. I think I was wearing that pin for the next 2 weeks on my shirt. So.
Well, it's definitely well deserved, Mike. That's for sure. And we know how much the club means to you. So I mean, a massively worthy recipient. That's for sure.
Yeah, it goes back just in history with, like I said on the night, with the old man being a life member and how far the club goes back with our family and everything like that. My dad just he doesn't come to the club as much anymore, but if he did, everyone will have to hear his stories.
But I get to listen to him when he comes out.
Don't worry, you cop it. And everyone will say that the first life member of the club is actually his uncle. So,
wow.
And then he'll go, you're related to the first actual life member of Wilson Park. Is that right? You know that? I go, yeah, tell me every time you rock up. So, yeah. It's a bit of, that's the honour there, it's as proud as I am that I've made it. I think it made him a bit proud, as well. It is a great club, and that's why, you like to see it survive as well, the club, anyway, and that anyway, that was just more like, so much rich history of the club with Balcatta and Wilson Park.
Yes.
Massively. But to be at a club that's been going since 1914, or I think that photo on the wall is 22, but
yeah,
I think it's actually older than that. It's a big club back in when you think about it. It's not like Osborne Park District or anyone that's been going since 2005 or whatever. This club's been going since fucking there weren't even cars around. So that's exactly right. They had to get on their horse and pony and cart to get down to the footy games at Richard Guelphy.
Get on the wagon.
Robinson Reserve.
Can you mention the bloody game, the ground they were playing on, the ball they were kicking, the hard yards just to get to training or bloody to the game, Yeah. It's true.
Could it be a case that we've got it too easy, fraggers? Could that be a case for us, and by comparison, we have to get rid of cars for us to get that sense of you pay too much. You've put too much just to get here. It's not too easy to get here, so therefore you better make it worthwhile.
Oh, anything to get them down there, mate.
Yeah.
I do remember on your speech, Fraggers,
put a $50 note on a fishing line.
Something. We went to many trainings tonight. But, they had a quick little run around, and I think they were done by about 7, but quality over quantity, I guess. Nah.
Well, I'll let King know though, so I won't be fined.
That's right, exactly.
Well,
you are the fines master anyway, aren't you, Junior?
Yeah, I just can't give out any fines to anyone because the people that I want to give fines to aren't there. So it's hard to make money off the guys that go there every week, and you can't find them. And then the guys you want to find don't rock about the club. So look out, there's probably about 20 reserves guys that owe about $50. So listening to this, bring your money when I see it.
Absolutely, players play day.
Yeah.
Well, there's big turn. I've had quite a few chased up. Well, I know between myself and Wade, Tass, been on the Facebook and Messenger and all that, and just chasing up old players. I've gone through my old phones and found some of the old numbers from past thirds players and so forth, and the response has been pretty good. So I know we're going to have a pretty good turnout on the day. So it's going to be. It's going to be busy, and the last home game is going to be even huger by all indications. We've got Ladies' Day from 1 till 5, and then we've got the 100 Club, of which the tickets are nearly totally sold out now, from 5 to 8, which is great.
Brilliant effort.
So, I mean, that's just good because we know we're going to have. It's a guaranteed big crowd of people who are going to be turning up to watching these games. It's going to be. If at the very least towards the end of the last couple of home games, it sort of brings back that sensation of the club being the place to be at on a Saturday afternoon / evening, because that's where everybody is, like the days of yore. Yeah. So anyway, Fragus, look, we'll talk about one thing I want to talk about your speech. I mean, you spoke about at one point to then coach Tony Mirabella about. Possibly staying on and so forth. And one thing that I do remember you spoke about, you said that you felt that the club was like a home. It was home. That's a key word. I remember you saying it, and you said that it was extended to Mirror, and indeed other players who had been at the club for maybe for the 1 season, 2 seasons, are saying, look, don't look anywhere else. Give this club a shot to make this club your home. It can be your home. Can you sort of expand on that a little bit more, just for the idea of how a club can be a home for a new player, particularly a player who's like an entrenched or an established league player, so to speak, who could pretty much pick and choose where they wanted to go. Could you expand a little bit more on that?
Yeah, my meaning on that is just with Miro, he would always have a say on how the club should be run and what you should be doing, and he always put on like how much talking about the club and everything like that. But he's if you listen to this or not, like, and he's a great bloke. But to be honest, as a footy person, he's like a tumbleweed. So he just drifts from club to club, and there's no home there, And I'm, like I said, I'm proud to have Stirling as a home. I've played so many games or whatever, and I've got a lot of mates out of it. But I look forward to the fact that I can be like yourself, Kills, or Damo, even though you're both heavily involved in the club. But there's, you can come down in, say, 10, 20 years' time and you'll know people, faces, and the guys that you talk to will know that the effort that you put into that club, and that's what I call a home. And hopefully, you're respected as a player and just a normal bloke there when you go back in the future. And that's what I call, because what else am I going to do on a Saturday in the future if I want to go watch footy? I'll go watch Stirling.
Yeah,
that's what I'll have. Where these other guys won't, because they've just drifted and whatever, and maybe chase success and stuff like that. But then when they retire, where they belong. Yeah, and that's what I question. That's what I question Mira. Like, when he finishes, where does he belong? And I believe he'll belong nowhere. He might have mates everywhere, but it's not a place where he can go, everyone here pretty much knows me and how I went about it or whatever. And to expand on that, with now, like, one case especially is Tisha. He's come from Victoria last year, and he's rocked up at our club last year, and we've copped it and dropped down a grade. And then, the expectation, I think, for this year, and mine was well, the last 2 times we've been in C1, we played the GF, maybe we can turn around and win one.
Yep.
And anyway, we're getting flogged this year, but, he's playing I reckon he's playing great footy. But his commitment to the club is that he hangs around and he trains both nights, and he's there on Saturdays and he brings his girlfriend to the club, and he's showing what other people should be doing, and I credit him for that. And even though we're getting flogged, he's calling Stirling his home, and you can see it. So, and that's all I try to push on to the other guys. I just respect that myself as a player.
Absolutely. And the club is what you make of it, you got Disher showing that commitment. If everyone else could show 60% of that commitment, it'd be a different scenario altogether.
I think clubs are chasing culture. Players are chasing culture, and it's up to you to create the culture, not chase it. If you don't think it's there, we'll create it. And we did back in the day, and I don't think it's up to me to create culture. Should I be hanging around? Should I be partying on Saturday nights and having a hangover for 5 days to try to bring culture? I've done all that. So, I think it's just, I don't know, players are a little bit different. And there are clubs with great culture, but it's not because the club has a sign on the board saying we have culture. And, okay, they've got culture, I'll just walk in and I have culture. It's come from the players, it's come from themselves, and going out of their way to give to the club and not just take the piss out of it to say, and just rock up if you can rock up on a Saturday afternoon and play for 2 hours, you can rock up on a Tuesday and Thursday. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you want
to? It's up to the individual themselves, mental toughness and all that sort of shit, and all turn around, and credit to you, Damon, and what you've done this year, there, and you can tell by players playing and stuff like that, hopefully, it does turn.
Yeah, well, look, you can only keep trying, and you only keep doing things, and you no matter what, you're going to see failures in all sorts of aspects of any football and beyond. It's what you do with that, and I think you touched upon it before when you talked about when you first came into the league side, when you spoke about some of the players that have already been in the league. It comes down to that one word, and that's attitude. It makes the world a difference. Whether you're winning or you're losing, you can actually it's your attitude that makes a difference. You can be losing and that make that worthwhile, make that work for you, or you could just spit it. You could be winning and you could just be resting on your laurels thinking that's a piece of piss, and when you start, things don't work so well, don't work. Or you can win and you say, I want to keep it going. It's all about attitude, Fragus, in my mind. And it's something that I believe that you follow quite well as well. So, you've had your triumphs. You've been there when the club's been at its, had its being hand down and being relegated. You've probably seen more relegations between grades at this club than probably any other player. So, but it's the way you handle it, and I think you're the man who's demonstrated that and said, look, it's just what you make of it. It's your attitude, how you approach those sorts of things makes a difference.
Yeah, I guess I'm just a bit. It's passionate. Might be different circumstances this year. Instead of talking about this, sort of, come to the end of this chat and just saying all this, building and getting players to be, their attitude and take responsibility for themselves. But yeah, I guess that's where it is at this year. And yeah, just the passion is there to hopefully, other guys can see that. And yeah, what can I say?
Well, let's change a couple of gears, mate. Look, football aside, I mean, your work is one thing as well. You work in real estate, correct?
Oh yeah, in residential, construction.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want to give yourself a bit of a plug, mate, about your business or anything like that? Your work?
Yeah. No. No. I don't own my own business, so I don't have to give them a plug.
No, they make enough money anyway.
That's right. They show that by their, F-150s that they drive around, the bosses and stuff like that. So they don't have to give them plugs. They make their own money.
That's right.
Give me a pay rise.
Let's move on to the other. Let's move on to another passion of yours that I know we're getting up to the 55-minute mark here, but that's all right. We can keep going for a bit longer. Let's talk about the other passion of you. Anyone who's spoken to you about dogs or horse racing, you're a man who knows a fair bit about it, correct?
Yeah, I have an interest.
Talk a little bit about history about your the idea with vetting, mate, particularly with the doggies and so on.
Well, it all comes. I remember my first bet. I asked someone, "How do I do a quaddie?" And I'll just start from there. So, and I won. That was the worst thing. That's what started it, because I said, "How do I do a quaddie?" And this guy goes, "Oh, you just put 2 horses in each leg, and if one of them wins in each leg, you'll win." And I went, "All right." So I just put $2 in each one. It cost me $16, I remember, and I put it on, and it came in, and I won like $180. Anyway, I was hooked.
That's it. Done.
So it hasn't stopped since. I've owned dogs, I've owned horses, and I think I talk like I know what I'm talking about, which I know, but it doesn't turn into actually winning money. So,
have you got any dogs or horses on the go at the moment, Mike?
Any tips?
Yeah, I had one. I did have 2, but now it's down to 1 after this afternoon. One had to be euthanized, actually. So.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no. Dog or
horse? Yeah, it was with the Ganjin strains. I was like, horse, Vandemonian. Anyway, apparently it got the wobbles. I heard on the phone today. So it's got the wobbles, which was something that happens to the lower neck and back, and it sort of makes them lose their balance.
Oh, wow.
It just comes all of a sudden. It's incurable. So you'll see, it looks like a horse walks around like it's had too many beers, pretty much.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And, they had to euthanize it this afternoon. So that one's down. That one's finished, and it's all part of the game. I'm okay with that. And then, so I've got one left. That's with a trainer at the moment, a 2-year-old, and I had high hopes, and it had its first run about a month ago for us. Me and a few guys from work own 5% of it.
Yep.
And it came dead last. So yeah, good time.
Beautiful.
Just
wait for its odds to go up, mate.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So I haven't given anybody the tip yet. So
no, just hold off, please, mate.
Yeah, hold off. So I've had like 5 or 6 greyhounds as well, and I've been lucky with one that me and Frank Rossi owned and won $30K for us.
Wow.
But then we had one that had water diabetes. I was like, what the fuck is water diabetes? So it's just this dog that likes to drink water instead of running. So yeah. So we lost that, and it's good fun. It's a hobby. People like to play Fortnite apparently on the PlayStation. I just put mine over on the horse.
Yeah, fair enough.
What track meets are coming up that are worth keeping an eye out?
I'm okay with that.
What track meets are coming up, mate, that are worth noting? I mean, is it always just waiting for the spring carnival? What can we do for the rest of this winter as far as events are coming up for the racing calendar?
Yeah, just hang out. The winter's always shit, and spring's coming up. All the lead-up races are coming up for the Melbourne campaign, so it's all good. So you'll see coming to probably mid-August, all the nice horses will be coming out for their first run. So
have you looked abroad? Have you looked abroad at any of the races of dogs across the other side of the planet? Do you flutter internationally much?
Look, I always follow Hong Kong and shut in, and like with Zach Penn and Maria running in Hong Kong.
Yep.
And I'm planning on going to Hong Kong actually next year to go to the races there. My brother's, he's got hooked onto the horses now, so he wants to go a trip there. So
beautiful.
Yep. Yeah, head there, and there's always a couple of goals there to go to Ascot, Carnival, where Black Caviar won, some years ago. Yeah. Go there, wear a suit with a big top hat and shit like that, and just get drunk with the bombs. So all that sort of stuff. A couple of goals. Good time.
Is that with Carps? Because I know Carps, Tills, you probably have a better idea than I do about the Hong Kong thing, but you've been over there as well, Tills, during that sort of time. Does Carps have a dealing with that sort of time with Fraggers as well over there, Fraggers Senior?
He was there, but I think he's back at the VRC now.
Okay.
He's head handicapper at the VRC again, I think.
He was on the radio this morning, actually.
Was he?
Yeah, he was on sports radio on 1206 on those were the days.
Yeah, okay.
They talked about, I didn't get to hear it all, but they probably would have spoke to him about his early footy days because he was a captain of Subiaco and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, shit. I wonder if he's here on Saturday.
Tickets. Do you know him? He'll get free tickets over in Melbourne.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure we can probably wrangle that.
Good man.
And all the listeners to this podcast, so get 2 more.
Yeah.
Just put on the comment section how many tickets you want, people. Go. Yeah, no, I reckon that'd be fine. Craig, I can't say that'd be an issue.
Yeah, cheers.
Well, we'll wrap things up, Fraggers, mate. Look, we usually get to the final 3 questions that sort of wraps up, which I'd like to think wraps up in about 2-3 minutes, but it ends up, that's right. It usually takes about I would like to think 2-3 minutes to wrap this up, but it usually goes on for about 10 more. But 3 questions, hypothetical questions. It's you've been there, mate, was when you talked about your 2001. It wasn't exactly after the siren, but let's just say it's a grand final, down by a kick, got a free kick. You have to kick it from 40 metres in front. After the siren's gone, the kick will obviously, through the big post, will win the game. Who, if you could pick anyone from current or past playing that you've been along on the same field with, who would you give the ball to kick it between the big sticks?
Oh, no doubt. This one was easy because I've heard your podcast before. Matty Cullen every day.
Matty Cullen,
yeah.
We had a conversation about that on Saturday.
Boys wouldn't know him, but this guy had... yeah, he was best. What he kicked 80-something goals. He was huge.
Yeah,
over 101 season.
Yeah. He had a huge dick. He had everything.
He had massive ability.
Yeah. He even scared the toppos we had at the club one time.
You remember that?
We had to lock him in the change rooms. And I wouldn't shower back then because, that's a fucking needle compared to his thing. And then that's probably why I still wait to the end to have a shower because it's just those memories of
the scars.
Scars from him. And I'll always wait till he's gone. And anyway, we had a lock in one time and we had 2 toppos in the these are like, locking in change rooms and you would have one girl. I'll probably say, this doesn't matter.
No, it's fine. It's this late, mate.
Right,
so.
And anyway, you'll have one girl walking around serving you beers in this lock-in, and then in the trainer's physio room was another girl giving anybody who wants one a head job, right?
Oh, right.
So we'll be in that. I would have been 19 then. And then we just go, they go, hang on, girls, here comes Maddie. And he comes out of the shower, and they just go, oi, take your towel off, and he'll just take it off, and these girls would just be in awe, and he'll just go, and then just fuck. Oh, mate, it was just... you talk about Brendo talking about his dick, this thing was twice as big, so...
Just to summarise, you choose Maddie to take the kick to win the grand final and then provide part of the entertainment afterwards.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
All right, well, okay, the second one, you mentioned a couple of guys during the podcast, but let's just say the hypothetical is swamped by opposition players, heated pressure, you're about, just you against 10 of the opposition. You need someone from your team alongside you to help you out. Who would you pick?
Yeah, well, I've always said Evo, haven't I? But back in those days, Joel Edwards was the man as well. So he was, even though he was the shortest guy on the field, he was the tallest. So a lot of times, so yeah, him and Evo definitely. I try to look back at the most current days and. Yeah. No, I have to go back to the old days.
Strong
He's hard enough.
All right, and the last one, of course, Fraggers, let's hope that doesn't happen anytime soon. Ziggy, like we spoke about, is in mid-50s, so if you had the good fortune of knowing and playing and not having the body break down and you say, this will be it, this will be my retirement match, you could pick any two players, current or in the past, who'd be on the field with you to cheer you off, mate. Who would they be? Tough one.
Well, let's just go sentimental here, and we'll go Frank Rossi, definitely.
Yep.
And probably will deserve to have one back in the past, but I'll have my brother, definitely.
Yeah, nice one.
Very good, mate. It'd be great. It'd be
we
great
should have won the A-grade premiership 2002.
Yeah. So, should have. Imagine that.
Okay, no. That's my worst memory of Stirling. Chance. Yeah. Sure.
Well, anyway, Fraggers, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure of having you on board for the podcast, mate. We'll do the official wrap-up here. Anything else you want to add just before we do sign off, Fraggers? One last thing.
No, not much. No, it's been good to talk. A couple of flashbacks there. It's definitely in my past, but yeah, no, it's been good. Thanks for bringing some of the memories back.
No problems, mate. That's what the program's about, basically. Just talk about what has happened and more than just what is happening or what could possibly happen. I'm sure that'll happen in the seasons to come, sure. But Tills, anything for you to add?
No, I just want to thank Junior for what him and his whole family have contributed to the footy club, and massive part of the history of the club. So I'm glad he's still kicking, and let's win that flag that you so richly deserve, mate.
Oh, mate, it'll happen.
It will happen.
It will happen. And to all our listeners tonight, guys, thanks again for tuning in. It's been a fantastic episode. They always are. Through rose-tinted glasses I'm speaking of. But just a couple of things. Make sure you come down this weekend. It is past Players' Day. We've been drumming it up on the through the wire, through the wireless, and through the internet. So make sure you come down and be a part of it. And keep your eye out for the 2 weeks following on that. On the 4th of August, double header, big social events. Ladies' Day from 1 till 5. Marquee, the missus has got all sorts of things planned. Tills, you and I are meeting with Wendy and Di tomorrow. We're getting things really up for that. And of course, then that evening from 5 to 8, we've got the draw for the 100 Club. Someone's going to be rich and rolling around in $2,000 cash, Tills.
Cold hard cash. Tax-free, Damo.
That's it, tax-free. It's the best kind of cash. So thank you, guys. Fraggers, greatly appreciate to have you on board for our 12th episode, mate. It's been an absolute treasure to have you on here. Good luck to both our league and reserve sides this weekend. Go get them, Saints. Enjoy your weekend.